Yeah.
All right, JOJ 46. Another week.
Another week.
Another thing of life that we went through. Someone's a little razzled over here.
I'm not razzled.
He's on about 10 different substances. So if his heart stops.
You know how people normally take detox days? I take stem excessive days.
Just to test the heart.
Yeah.
Give it a little strength.
I'm fasting. I've got 2 energy drinks. The Zens. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not fasting. But I do start a cut officially tomorrow. 60-day challenge at the gym.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out kind of what my future's looking like. Wondering what I can accomplish in 60 days.
That's good. What can you tell me a little bit more? Like why are you cutting and what's it gonna be?
Well, so the gym is hosting they're calling it 60XT, 60 times. It's a stupid name.
For those who are.
Yeah, stupid name. And so it's, just a really good way to incentivize people to pay a little bit of money for entry to minimum training programs, some diet tips, meeting with the trainer. And so, for the folks who may not be able to afford a full-time trainer, hey, pay $60, enroll in this. You'll sit down with someone for an hour, still kind of go through the same things as if they were, pursuing personal training.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it's unfortunate because they're only based on pictures, the winners. It's not muscle gain. It's not body fat loss. It's just the pictures.
So it's a 60-day transformation.
Yeah. And so, I'm taking my picture tomorrow. I'm going to make sure the lighting is shit and I look bad and my posture is going to be bad because then when I take my finishing picture, it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to shave, get the teeth whitened, good tan, great lighting. Yeah, it's like...
See the shadows off the abs, the pecs.
Exactly, yeah.
So you could game the system if you're really smart. And what does the winner get?
$10,000.
Whoa.
Plus another $15,000 worth of gym equipment, a $5,000 cold plunge.
What?
Yeah.
All right, I'm signing up.
You got to be a member.
Okay, I got some time.
Yeah, you do have some time. You could do it. But, yeah, it's a national competition, so I'm hoping some of my clients end up taking the gold home, giving me a percentage of that 10 G's.
So is that in writing? Are you going to get that, or is it?
No. Wait, the 10,000?
No, the percentage if your client wins,
No.
do you get it?
No, I wouldn't. I think you get maybe $500, honestly. But it may be a $500 gift card to Lifetime versus cold hard cash.
So you could go full Ozempic mode.
Oh yeah.
And you could win, you think?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And starve yourself.
They were talking
Give
about
yourself a tapeworm.
Ozempic, and they're saying you lose bone mass when you're on it, and muscles go down and all that shit, but you lose weight. I just wonder if someone's ever gonna do Ozempic and work out at the same time.
I mean, I've had clients like that.
Really?
Yeah, that 70-year-old man that was deadlifting 315. He was on Ozempic. He was 230 pounds.
Really?
Lost about, bless you.
Thanks, sorry.
Lost 60 pounds.
Holy shit.
He was trying to get to 175 and couldn't ever crack it. But he was getting dizzy during the workouts.
Really?
Yeah, he's
God.
I just woke up in the middle of the night vomiting. It's that doesn't sound pretty normal.
Doesn't sound healthy.
He's like, hey, but my pants fit tighter.
Okay. Just trying to look good for all the old birds in the gym.
Oh, not the birds. He's looking for the...
Oh, he's on the same
the
team.
cockadoos.
He's looking to drop the soap in the shower. He's
You
just
may have to cut that one out.
That's where all the gay stuff happens in the gym.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say happens for, a lot of these guys that are taking insane amount of testosterone, trenbolone, Anavar, whatever they're taking. If you get enough of it, there's some studies showing how it changes you sexually, one, and kind of your interest. So, I wonder how many of those big bodybuilders are swinging the other way. Probably not many, but
Yeah, that's weird that it would change like what you like sexually.
yeah. There's something
I feel like
too,
it would increase what you like.
no. There was,
'Cause you're
there was
getting more
something I
of-
read about something that women do that changes like what they view as attractive. Because oh my gosh, this is when we need the Jamie, the young Jamie.
Yeah, we need a young Jamie.
Let me see if I can find this. But no, I mean, it would make sense as someone who's used some things, prescriptions.
You
It's
feel like-
certainly like at a minimum dosage, like it just like it makes you just pretty hypersexual. But I'm assuming at the top, taking a bunch of stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
you're just trying to get whatever.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna be able to find that.
We should do a little experiment.
Yeah, we need to do it for you.
What would you put me on? If I said I want to be 200 pounds by my birthday in December,
Just a little bit of testosterone.
just a little bit, and I could get to 200 pounds.
I mean, if you continued working out the way you're working out and still eat, that's what people who abuse steroids, you know, it's not just like a cure-all. Like you're a $175 lean person, and then all of a sudden you start injecting yourself, and you're just going to massively grow. You still have to train. You still have to eat. You still have to recover. It's everything else. It's just
It's kind of like
it's
little
an accelerator.
boost.
Yeah, it's an accelerator. But it certainly gives someone who's on that a little bit longer of a leash when in terms of, you know, hey, you can eat a little bit shittier with your diet
Because you're gonna
and
be able
still
to
be a little bit more flexible.
keep your. I wonder, like, what is the downside of steroids? Because it's like pretty much kind of like a taboo thing for a lot of people, especially older people that think about like what happened with baseball and all the guys that got popped for steroids and
Yeah.
they had to testify, and there's just like a weird view of steroids because
Yeah.
there's got to be a downside. Like, what would
Well,
you say is the downside?
I mean, you can argue that, like, I think it totally depends on the person and their outlook. You know, because if you are not worried about having kids, then that risk factor doesn't apply to you.
So reproductive health.
Reproductive health is certainly going to be a concern.
That stopped working.
Yeah, but even when I talked to, no, I didn't stop working, but that was my that was my primary question whenever I had sat down with my endocrinologist at the men's clinic. So, like, if you're going to do it, you have to approach it that way. And people should be getting blood work, you know,
Yeah.
at least one time a year.
I think there's a differentiator though. Like we're talking about steroids, which are, what's the word? Exogenous.
Yeah.
And then testosterone, which we make. That's endogenous. Or
Yeah.
something?
So,
So.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Get on us in.
No, the test would be fine. Like, I don't think you need to be taking any other stuff. The trenbolone, the masterone, turkesterone really is not going to do anything for you.
Really?
It's like it just has a very small ceiling.
What I looked at turkesterone was that it's doesn't have the side effects that normal steroids have.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, going back to the side effects.
Like the losing your hair and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But really, it's kind of like anecdotal for a lot of people. It's different.
Yeah, like acne, like severe acne, people can have reactions to that. But that's also pretty much the best explanation I have for it is like testosterone or steroids are going to make you more of what you already are. So if you're someone who's already very short-tempered and very irritable and you introduce that, you're going to be worse. If you're under control, you'll be under control. You know, obviously there's ebbs and flows to things, you know, because you are affecting your hormonal cycle.
Yeah.
And so of course it's going to affect your psyche, your physiological side, your emotional side.
Well,
But
maybe
you
for
just
the
have
better.
to be very. No, well, certainly. I mean, imagine you're a 25-year-old guy. Your testosterone is 200 nanograms per deciliter, which is extremely low.
You're a vegan.
Yeah, you're vegan. You're avoiding meat. You don't go out in the sun.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to think about like how that person is feeling as a man. No motivation to do anything.
No.
No
drive.
no grunt to fucking just dominate. And so you get a little bit of that, And it's like it gives you an opportunity to start pursuing those things just from your body almost just being more motivated to get into them.
There's so many guys like that, but because they demonize being masculine.
Yeah.
Everyone does. It's like a horrible thing to be, but those are the people we don't care about.
Yeah.
On this show.
On the journey of Jack.
Well, here's the thing. You did a VO2 max test.
Mm-hmm.
So you are testing your heart in multiple ways. This was a clinical test that you did.
Yes. And that was a concern of mine, deciding to, take some performance enhancing drugs. And, I did compete in bodybuilding. So that was, a big motivator at the time.
Everyone's doing that in bodybuilding.
Yeah, there's natural shows, and then there's, you can do the shows that I did where you're competing against guys that are probably on stacks, like way more impressive. Because you can take whatever. But like obviously like some things are going to be illegal or hard to get.
Interesting. So it's like your connections to a supplier are really important.
Yeah.
If you want to do well.
And making sure it's clean stuff. But, with the VO2 max, it's kind of like, I'm already a big guy. Big guys don't live as long. There's a lot more strain on their organs, especially if you have a lot of muscle, you're, exercising hard. And so I did, you're always thinking, damn, like, and caffeine consumption, stress, it can be a lot. And so sometimes, everyone's probably had that moment where you feel like oh my God,
heart skips a beat.
Yeah, my heart flutter, like, why is my chest feeling weird? And so, when you kind of add those other things onto it, it's like, shit, like, damn, like, what if something is wrong because of all these things that I've done in the past? And so the VO2 max was kind of more of like all right, let's test my limits and see. Because I've been playing basketball, and that's challenging cardiovascular wise.
Yeah, you're an athlete. You've done a lot of sports, and so both of us have. So
yeah. So they put a tube. For some reason, you can't nasal breathe, which I figured it would have been the opposite, but I had never been around these tests before. So I'm wearing this mask. I think it's in my car. And it's got like two magnetic pieces, so it clamps your nose down. So you're only forced to breathe through this tube that's connected to these wires that plug into this computer.
Oh.
And so we did the stair climber. There's plenty of different options to test it, from assault bike to,
Rowing.
bike, rower, treadmill, whatever. But we had just done the stair climber. And so I hopped on, and there's a sheet. You're not supposed to talk. There's a sheet, so you have like that person kind of guiding you, and it's like levels 1 through 10 on like difficulty, like perceived exertion. 10 being I'm done, like I can't. 1 is like I'm super comfortable, and so it just kind of goes up the scale. And so I started at a level 10, and the goal was to do 2 minutes and then make jumps. So I started at a level 10, which wasn't like a
So you started at your absolute limit?
No, level 10 on the Stairmaster system.
Oh, yeah.
So
you started at moderate. Like you're walking up stairs fast, kind of.
Yeah, you had a pace.
Yeah.
And so I've got that. 2 minutes go by. She's like, all right, like on a scale of 1 to 3, where are you feeling? And I was like 1. And I was like, this is easy. So she's like, okay, we're going to bump it up. So I went to level 12.
Okay.
Another 2 minutes. All right, picking up the pace. 2 minutes go by, feeling good, level 14. All right, so now like I'm starting to sweat a little bit. You're getting short of breath, and so you're trying to like think about how I can like breathe most optimally through this tube.
Weird.
Because you can't get a good inhale, and especially if you're breathing through your mouth, that's going to be more chest.
That's interesting how they do that. Is that because like they're measuring like the oxygen in your blood?
Yeah, absolutely. They're measuring the oxygen efficiency every minute. And so level 14, all right, it's getting kind of challenging. Next level 16. And it's like, all right, my legs are moving.
Yeah.
And you know how like
beating.
if you've been on the Stairmaster before, you can certainly, if it's a, consistent pace, you can kind of like soft step it a little bit, where you're just kind of like on your toes maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so because the pedals were moving so fast, I needed to get my knees higher faster. Yeah. So I kind of like started like stomping on it a little bit. Like I'm really driving my feet into the ground versus just kind of like
interesting.
Like trying to like piddle paddle up.
Yeah, usually when you're on your toes, isn't that more like quads?
Yeah, you're just pressing from the forefront, so it's a little bit more on the knee and on the front part of the shin.
Okay, so you're at level 16. How long did it take you to get to 16? How long were you on it?
It was like 8 minutes at that point. I was
so
on
you're
it for
hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
You're like, let's go to the limit now.
Well, yeah, that's the design, because you don't want it to be like an hour-long thing, and then the last 50 minutes is when you really make it challenging. And so, boom, level 16, go to level 18. And at this point, I'm like I am getting to my max. I feel like I'm at my max.
At 18.
18. So I'm just like putting my head down, and, you know, I'm just like focusing on my step. Just one step, one step, one step. And she'll tell me, I wasn't even looking at the clock. It's like just one step. Goes by. She's like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? She's like, come on, how are you feeling? And I was like, I gave her a 1. And she's like, okay, level 19. Did that for another 2 minutes. I just kept going. She's like, you got to keep going, got to keep going, got to keep going. Because whenever I wanted to stop, I could just step off.
Okay.
And so I'm like, at this point, like, you're battling yourself. I'm like, come on, like, I'm already in it. Like, just fucking push. So then, boom, 2 minutes, level 20. And at this point, I'm like, like trying to get up. And I lasted on level 20 for like 10 seconds. My legs were just like, I couldn't really feel my legs anymore.
They're full of blood.
Yeah, just pumped full of blood. And it was challenging. So I got my score back. It came back as a 47.7, and there may be different scales, but it's considered in the great category. And maybe we can upload the graphic, because I do have all the data.
Yeah, send it over.
And so 47.7, it's great. It's labeled in the great category for my age. The next step up is like 52.5 to get to like elite optimal. That's what they call it. So overall, in a really good range.
Yeah.
Felt really good about that. And you also, the information you got was your zone heart rate training. So you've got zones 1 through 5. Those are the heart rate zones that you operate in. And which zone you're in will determine which energy fuel source you will use for whatever activity you're in. So zone 1, 2, 3 are typically going to be, well, zone 1 specifically is just walking.
Okay.
You're walking around,
Walking pace.
Heart rate's pretty chill. If you're walking more and your heart rate's pretty chill, typically you're going to be burning more fat. And it gave me the exact percentages.
Really?
So my zone 1, which is a lot higher than I thought, which makes a lot of sense because I was doing a lot of cardio and wasn't really seeing the change in fat. And I was like, I felt like I'm doing this. And I was timing on my Whoop, and I was sitting at like a 110 because I thought that was my zone 1, zone 2. My zone 1's like 135.
So you were going too
I was
light.
going way too light.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't, it would have taken me a lot more time to build that fat or to get rid of that fat. But I was doing like 40 minutes. I need to be doing like 2 hours at that pace.
So walking is actually a good way to burn fat.
Walking is, every client that sits in front of me that says they want to lose fat, I tell them, you need to become a professional walker. Do you have a dog? Like, for real. I'm like, do you have a dog? Take your dog on walks. Get a dog. Take your dogs on walks. It's like, that's the best thing you can do for your body, for your digestion, for your blood sugar, for your mind. And everyone can walk.
Yeah,
I'm
everyone
not saying
can.
you got to run.
We kind of
Everyone
forget
can
about
walk.
walking because it's just kind of like, oh, we need to go and do some super specific workout.
Yeah.
It's going to be the game changer in our, sometimes it's the basics.
Yeah. The basics are the best.
So like when you were going into the thing, what was your expectation for the VO2 max? And then how'd you feel after that? You knew that you were in the green.
I felt good. I was like, okay, like I'm doing the right things, and now I have the information to do the right things better.
Yeah.
Like, know which zones I'm at. And so like I'm in a process of wanting to burn more fat. So now I know I've got to get a little bit more zone 2 training, which is going to be like my 145 to 157 or 156. Because like you can spend a lot of time just bullshitting around in the gym, thinking obviously the intention is correct. You know, you're doing the right thing, but you don't want to do the right thing and not get the right result.
Yeah.
You just don't want to waste your time, man.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting too, because kind of in this whole process of me changing how I work out prior to coming on with you as a client and everything, I was more probably in the zone 1, zone 2. I would get to the gym, I'd do Stairmaster, I'd be sweating my ass off, then I'd do like core workout, I'd be sweating. Then I'd go lift a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's completely the opposite. now it's like mobility and it's lifting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, yeah, you got to lift. But they say that lifting is like a really good way to like burn calories though, like compared to cardio?
Well, it's, if you have more muscle mass, your metabolic state is going to be improved. So you're going to be burning more calories.
Yeah.
So that's why even for someone that's extremely overweight, like you have to lift weights, you have to build muscle mass. Because it also makes it easier to move. And if you got more muscle, you're having to challenge yourself. Your heart's going to get improved. Your blood flow circulation is going to get everything. I mean, it's everything. And walking's good. Walking's great. But it's about having the balance between both of them.
Yes.
You don't want to be one or the other. The guy that can lift all the weight but can't freaking walk down the street without getting kind of winded.
Dang. Yeah.
And I've been there before too.
Yeah.
Just at my heaviest state. It's like getting up the stairs and you're like, all right, I can tell this is a lot more laborious than what it should be.
Yeah, it's man, I love the gym. It's good work. Kind of had an off day today though.
Yeah.
Sometimes needed.
Sometimes you need it. Got to recover.
Man, all right. Well, what else is going on? Freaking sweating in here.
You are?
Yeah.
You can't regulate your homeostasis.
Well, I was doing a little bit of workout before. Couldn't take my rest day, right?
Well, I'm drinking my sugar fruit drink.
Let me get.
But I've been watching. Well, I know I want to talk about this first because I was watching a few videos about it earlier today, and obviously it's something we're both interested in. Is like the pyramids.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, so like obviously
new findings.
One of the it's still considered one of the 7 wonders of the world, right?
Yeah, the Great Pyramid of Khufu. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, in Egypt.
Yeah, they found reportedly this month they found that there was like these structures below the pyramid that 600 something meters down.
Yeah.
And using this like LiDAR technology that's new, I guess, and they're making the case that now they need to excavate under the pyramid to see what was going on. What if they find some shit that's like
well, they say it was like it's like an energy system, like propulsion system, because the structures down are like coiled. That's what he was saying. They're like coiled and
like a spiral.
Yeah, and there's more chambers that are down there and structures that are down there.
Could be like a staircase down.
Yeah.
Because like, how are you gonna like?
But
that would
maybe
make sense. Because like, how can you like make a staircase? You'd be going down like that. If you're like shipping out stairs to go down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a staircase.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's something different. I think it, and I'll have to pull this up in a second. But from what I was reading, like the properties or the specific rocks found in that part of the Earth's core have like some type of electrical component. I can't remember the specific name for the word that they describe it, but that they were obviously at that point in time, like you're using the world as like your toolkit. And so if they can figure out that, hey, if we can access this type of material and align it with the stars and these other geometrical patterns, maybe we can access something.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what the intention is, but it's fucking crazy.
It is crazy. If we ever were to figure that out, like how they built that, and then what if that's the thing that we use AI with to like discover it, and then it's like click, and then it's like we go night and day. We're
like
Egypt.
That. Yeah. Fuck.
I asked Grok about it here, and he's kind of saying that. Okay, so recent archaeological discoveries beneath the pyramids of Giza have unveiled intriguing new findings, primarily through the use of advanced non-invasive technologies like ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography. L-shaped discovery. Okay, that was from 2021. Massive underground structures, March 2025. Research emerging in early 2025, including a press release dated from March 15th, suggested the discovery of extensive subterranean features beneath the Kafir pyramid. Using the radar, researchers including Corrado Malagna and Filippo Biondi claimed to have mapped 5 multi-level structures, 8 cylinders, wells extending 648 meters deep. I can't read. And two 80-meter cubic structures forming a 2-kilometer network beneath all 3 Giza pyramids. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if it's true and they can find it, I mean, I'm sure it would probably take years to get underneath there. And it's like,
they don't want to screw anything up.
Yeah, it's like, are you untapping
like some black energy?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, what
like,
they set
dude,
a spell?
who knows? Like, truly, like, we don't know. We're at this point, we're discovering the unknown. So there's you can't go into it thinking, here's what we're gonna find, because you're gonna get down there. Rod, trying to talk on the walkies. Get us up.
Yeah, there's like the idea that like you're just so curious that someone's gonna do it.
Yeah,
we got to push the boundaries and keep exploring, really. And it's awesome. AI talk. Elon did an interview with Ted Cruz, and he said that 90%, or no, he said that the smartest person will be over smarted by AI in 10 years. So
the
basically,
smartest
AI,
person will be out intelligenced.
Yes.
It's probably not a better way to explain
it. Which is crazy to think. I mean, 10 years is not far away.
No, we'll be 35.
Like at that point, I just start to question, like, what are the motives of AI? If it's going to become smarter, does that mean it's not going to think the same way as us, as human beings?
I mean, is that the goal, though, to get it to think like us as human beings?
Well, you talk to, like, ChatGPT or Grok, and they talk to you like a human. So the way they're interfacing with humans is human-like in their messaging. And, I mean, it's just weird because if they're going to become smarter, then, like, it's just hard for me to wrap my head around, like, how that's going to look.
Yeah. Okay, so is Sam Altman the founder of OpenAI?
He was one of the founders, but now he's the CEO.
And isn't he... I've been seeing some stuff about him that's not so good.
Yeah,
he was on Joe Rogan.
The whole thing with him was weird because OpenAI, the name OpenAI was supposed to be open source AI. And Elon Musk was a part of this group. And Elon and Sam Altman have gone back and forth about where this is going because Elon's away from the company. He's not a part of it anymore. Sam Altman, he's like now made it a for-profit company, which was a couple of years ago, which is like $1 billion company now, multi-billion dollar. And now it's all private. So like prior to that, from my understanding, that other people could use ChatGPT or OpenAI and like the technical making of their own AI. And now it's like it's private and a company, which a company's now has its own motives to make more money. So it's not necessarily in the interest of people.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, like he's the one who knows the potential capability of it.
Elon?
Well, I think everyone involved in that. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was weird the first time using ChatGPT, and this was like I was telling people about it before. It was not. I didn't find it, but I think I was just using it more than other people were at the time.
Yeah,
and just like experimenting with it. And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah, I'm using it more and more every day now.
Yeah,
just to ask questions and it's like a Google search, but it's like you just tell it what you want.
Yeah.
And it can even create things for you.
Yeah, I mean, it truly is a tool, and I think certain people in certain businesses and industries, like, it's a non-negotiable. You got to learn how to use it because it's not going away. It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to try to be in the workforce, and you need to know how to operate it.
That's something that I'm pretty interested in now. I'm gonna go pick up this book by one of the OpenAI guys. He wrote this book about how it's gonna affect our lives and how to kind of position oneself to take advantage of this. Because when you think about like the times where a lot of people made money, you think about like when the internet first was invented, and like the Mark Cubans, the Microsofts, the Apple, all these guys, like this new technology came and they took advantage and made billions, millions of dollars. This is another like weird time where AI's already been created, but it's like it hasn't fully like entered our lives in the way that like there's not robots walking around. It's more of just like we're using it as a tool. It just seems like it's about to like get to a point where things could be a lot different than they are, but yeah, it's weird. We live in a crazy time. Would you ever have
a robot, an AI robot? Should make it mandatory for everyone to watch iRobot.
Yeah, I mean, that's
one of Will Smith's best movies.
I love that movie.
But that's like I almost need to rewatch it.
It's
just
basically
kind of see the parallels.
It's like the worst case scenario of like having robots that are sent to your house, and everyone's got a robot, and the robots are people. Essentially, they have their rights, and the founder dies. He jumps out of the building. That's
right. Yeah, because he's like Will Smith is like a detective or something.
Yeah, he's the cop, and he's like the anti-robot guy.
Yeah.
And so then the robots are like, they have two rules: do no harm and like protect people or something. Actually, I should look up what the rules are, because this is like a key part.
Yeah.
Because then the robot, like, do you remember the scene where the robot's like destroying the house? And Will Smith's in the house trying to save a cat, and like jumps out the window in the pool or something.
Yeah. No, it's a great movie.
It's just a good...
Definitely ahead of its time.
How should I ask this question? What are the two rules
for the robots?
For robots in iRobot movie?
Dolly Parton.
Come on, Grok.
Queen of Country.
Film 3 laws. Okay, here we go. 3 laws of robotics in iRobot are: a robot may not harm a human being, or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Okay. Rule 2, a robot must obey the orders given to it by a human being, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. It's kind of a good program. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
So then what? I can't really remember why that one went rogue.
Sonny,
yeah.
Okay, so the plot about Sonny and the AI, which reinterpret the laws, it involves the 0th law: harm some humans to save humanity. But that's an addition, not a reduction.
Dang, that's a rewatchable right there.
That is a rewatchable. It's like kind of like the philosophy argument, like is one life worth other people dying? Like, would you involve yourself in like saving someone or killing someone to save other people? It's kind of a...
Yeah, I remember we had a lot of those types of conversations in the philosophy course in college, and I think it's like the train scenario.
Yeah.
It's like, you have 1,000 people on one side of the track, and then you've got your family, your mom on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like, do you push the train to kill the thousands to save one, but it's your mom? It's like, so that's that type of stuff.
Yeah, I wonder, that might be like 50-50 for people.
What was that?
There's like people that are more collective, and there's people that are individualists.
Yeah, but why save? Answer the question.
I would save my family.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd let you get run over. Save 1,000 random bots.
Yeah, I think most people are gonna.
escalate the numbers, like 1 million random people versus your old grandma.
Is there a number?
I mean, it's the thing. I don't know.
So then it's like
the whole world versus.
I think they call them contingencies. Oh, I can't remember the name that they would. If 1 is true, 2 is true, then 3 can not be true. If something.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of conflicting. Because are you gonna willingly kill a billion random people to save your family? I mean, how are you gonna sleep at night? I want to sleep like a baby.
There's a country you can take out just like that. Do you know what it is? Just kidding. Yeah, that's a complicated thing to.
Yeah.
I don't know what my answer would be.
Going back to AI real quick though, but when Elon says something like he thinks that AI is going to be smarter than the smartest human, already right now it's smarter than a lot of people, like the dumber people. But
I is it smarter or just does it have more information?
I don't know.
Because it's just like every time you ask it a question, it pretty much now puts that into the database, right?
Yes.
Or anytime you ask it to go grab information, it now has that information stored.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you kind of humanize it when you say it's smarter when it's a bigger book. It's got more information.
Yeah, like would that AI have some of the things that make us human, like that we love other people, that we have emotions? It's AI as a robot, how can it even have that? Is it going to question things about its reality? God, I read a book right now. But one thing that I've theorized on AI, and like if it's already out of the bag right now, and it's kind of like interacting in our lives, like sometimes I'm watching TV and a commercial comes on, and it's like, obviously we all know the commercials, like the commercials that we get or whatever. It'd be like sports commercials or car commercials or health supplement commercials, like on YouTube. But sometimes I'm watching, it's like so specific that it might be the case where there's a certain commercial, like a vacation commercial, and you're sitting there with your girlfriend, and it's like literally like carbon copy of you and her in the commercial. And then there's a black couple in the next room, and they're watching the commercial with the black family, and it's like that type of like
the personalized
commercials. Or
yeah, that's pretty next level.
Because like if it's gonna manipulate people, all the info it knows about us, like how it could like nudge us in certain ways, and it's kind of like MK Ultra. Like if they basically find like a lonely kid who's like extremist, and they just like kind of make him think he's gonna be a hero if he tries to kill Donald Trump,
a martyr.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you need to watch a show called The Night Agent. It's really interesting. It's like this guy, he's like defending the European like Secretary of Defense or Minister of Defense. And she's kind of like a Hillary Clinton-esque character, super pro-war, like bombing, just fucking bombing people. Jeez. But there's a lot of like terrorist stuff involved in it, and it's really good. I don't want to spoil it, but it kind of answers some of those questions just from the dialogue of some of these people being captured. And obviously it's fiction, but it was like, I've never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, like trying to convince someone to tell you information.
Yeah.
I heard that like torture isn't really the best option for that. It's almost like you want to make someone like feel comfortable and make them feel like they're your friend and everything's gonna be okay.
I don't know. I mean, imagine being like a deep secret operations for like the U.S. government, and you capture someone. They're like, we need the intelligence. Get it however you can. If you get caught, we're not claiming you.
Yeah, you're a bad cop, I'm a good cop.
Like, you're not getting that information by being like, hey man, you want to You want to smoke? You want to maybe a smoke, and then you fucking slap it out of his hand.
Hey, I mean, at some point, like, you could go too far, and the person, like, you've already tortured them so much they hate you, and they're never gonna tell you anything. They're willing to die to tell.
I mean, that's what they train them for. It's like, how much torture
Yeah.
can you take without giving up your sources?
Oh, Jesus.
And yeah,
I would be immediate.
it depends on the soldier, I think, because
Yeah.
you're gonna get that half that, we're gonna take it to the end, and then you got the others that are like, please, just please, like, I'll give you the information if I can become a citizen, or you can,
Yeah, I'll be a spy.
bring my family over and take care of my family or whatever.
Yeah.
Pay for my brother's surgery, and I'm sure like multiple governments are willing to negotiate that for certain pieces of information, even though they say we don't negotiate with terrorists.
No. Well, that's kind of like a similar thing to kind of what I think is going on with the Epstein stuff. Personally, like, I think Trump has all the Epstein stuff, and he knows about it, and he knows all the atrocities with the kids.
Why isn't that out yet?
Well, this is what I'm saying, is that Trump, as cold as it sounds, that information is valuable, and he still has that blackmail over the people. And that's my theory.
So, like, if he would have released it too early, things could have...
It would just be like, okay, all these people are outed. Now it's like, okay, say, who knows, like Marco Rubio. Like, maybe Trump has stuff on him. That's why he picked him. Because now you have to do my bidding. Because I know that you did that on the island with Bill Gates. It's almost like a
But why not
leverage.
just get him out? Yeah, I get it. But that's not...
You think that, like...
I don't know.
It would be better off if he just released everything. Well, the other thing is, like, maybe there's... Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, I saw the JFK files came out.
Oh, yeah, the 80.
Yeah, but I really wasn't able to find anything. I didn't look through them myself, but some of the people I follow, like, I didn't see that they found anything, like, spectacular.
I saw something on it where it was like a report where this intelligence guy said that basically he admits that the CIA did it.
I did see something, too, about Joe Biden.
Really?
Yeah.
Old Joe Biden?
He said Joe Biden's a traitor.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I can find this.
So this was a picture from the document, July 19th, 1967. Memorandum, subject, Ramparts, John Garrett Underhill Jr., Samuel George Cummings, and Inter Remarco. So this basically says, I was quoting this guy, the day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at the home of friends in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination, he confided, and he was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot to death in his Washington apartment. The coroner ruled it suicide.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, J. Garrett Underhill, had been an intelligence agent during World War II and was a recognized authority on limited warfare and small arms. So, I mean, it's 80,000 pages is a lot of pages. How are they going to... I mean, is that kind of a strategy? You just release 80,000 pages and maybe hide a couple of truth nuggets in there and keep the real shit out?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I also was reading that still there was some information that was redacted, certain things that people, like, wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, like, bro, just tell us the truth. Like, we're not kids.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure JFK said that Joe Biden was a traitor. Let me see if I can find this.
Okay.
Biden.
I mean, at this point, it's really not that interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather figure out what's going on with Epstein. And Diddy.
On a handwritten letter beginning, Dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor. Bearing the signature,
JFK
John
said
F.
that?
Kennedy Jr. Yeah.
And what does it say in relation to why Joe Biden's a traitor?
I don't know. It's not really.
Well, did you hear about the alleged auto pen stuff with Joe Biden?
Auto pen?
Yeah.
No.
All of his pardons that he gave out were like an auto pen signature.
What does that mean?
It's basically like they just print his signature on them. He didn't actually sign them.
Oh, yeah. I saw something because I think someone asked Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, about Donald Trump doing the same thing. And I think she mentioned some act that gave the president like authority
To do that?
to do it that way. I believe so. That could be a fact check, but
Well,
what do you think about it?
I mean, if you think about it, I don't think it's the biggest deal, but considering the state that Joe Biden was in, I think it makes it a big deal because it could be that some people were just taking advantage of.
Here, Grandpa, sign this.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or just don't even fucking ask him.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking know. He's worried about eating ice cream.
Yeah, and sniffing kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Sniffing babies. But, yeah, well, I guess that goes back to, there's a lot of stuff that probably has to be signed by POTUS or just certain people in power. I wonder how many of their subordinates have permission to, okay, this is our mission. I'm going to do this. I don't need to bother Trump about it. Because if he had to get involved on everything, they'd probably never get anything done.
I agree, but I think the difference is that it's an executive order. And it's like this is the president's sole power to, like, pardon Fauci. Yeah. So they're basically questioning if it's legal or not. And it's political games. I don't know.
Nothing's going to fucking come out of that.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm just like, at this point, I'm glad Trump won. I'm just kind of ready to move on, honestly. I think, like, the stuff about Epstein, JFK I don't care about because I already feel like I know it was the government that killed him. It's just my personal opinion. The Epstein stuff, it's like, dude, we've been waiting on this
for like 5 fucking years.
Now I'm starting to think that either it's like you have blackmail over other people or maybe you're involved. Trump's pictured with Epstein a bunch of times.
Yeah.
We don't want to believe it, but I mean, that's what they say. Melania was brought to him by Epstein.
Yeah, and she's in jail.
Who?
Or not Melania.
Ghislaine.
Yeah,
Ghislaine
and like
Maxwell, the right hand.
Yeah, fucking henchwoman, submarine tech.
What?
Yeah, like she was on the board of this like submarine company, and people believe that's how they were getting some of the children over to the islands.
Jesus.
And her father was like a super influential government figure.
It doesn't surprise me that they, like that it was a blackmail operation. It doesn't surprise me anymore.
No.
It just makes so much sense how powerful an operation like that would be for secrets and leverage.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
But yeah, at this point, it's like Elon's getting so much hate right now, and the whole country just like hates him for what he's doing, and like his attitude. That's the same thing that they hate about Trump. They don't care about anything he does except for his attitude and how he talks. Like Trump's like the proud comedian type, and he's just like saying what he thinks, and he's going to be aggressive, and he's going to be loud, and he's going to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
Elon's going to be like really monotone, and then he's going to act like a kid. He's half autistic.
Yeah.
Well, they're burning Teslas.
They are burning. Yeah, and it's like I think 100% of Teslas are made in the United States too.
Wow.
And it's just these people that have no fucking clue what they're... And they start comparing it to the Bud Light stuff and, spending your dollar where you want to spend your dollar. No one was fucking torching Bud Light distribution centers.
Oh, Kid Rock just shot it with
he bought his own. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you want to buy your Tesla and fucking run it off a cliff to make a statement, do your thing. Yeah. But you go to these dealerships and I bet you could do it.
Not with the battery. It's gonna like start a
Yeah,
fire.
I don't know. I mean, if you own the land.
Yeah.
But it's like these people going to these Tesla dealerships and firebombing and looting, and you're a fucking criminal.
Yeah.
And they're going to treat you as such. And they're trying to compare the two things. It's like, you guys are just so... They're just so dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it's hard not to fall into that. Like, say, for example, like the roles reverse and like the last 4 years of Biden and things were to happen. It's like, it's real easy to make the other side out as the enemy.
yeah.
Like, Rogan and, you know that guy, Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson? He's got like shaved head, British guy. He's a big podcast.
I don't know. I don't think so.
He went on Rogan and he was basically, they played this clip. It was real interesting about this one guy back in the, I can't remember, the 30s or something. He was talking about how like basically that it's just so easy to make someone out as the enemy because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like we're all kind of human beings at the end of the day. We need to spread that love.
Fuck, I can't find that Trump quote. It was really good. But he pretty much just said, like, he doesn't care. Like, someone, a reporter had asked him, like, how do you, you know, think about, like, your failures and all the things that, like, you've had to do and the struggles and whatnot. He's like, I just, like, you just have to move on and, like, not think about it. And so he's pretty much, like, worryless.
I agree.
And I think if you're going to have that job, you kind of have to have that type of mentality. It's like there's always going to be freaking people clipping at your heels trying to mouth off. And the reality is, too, for all these people that are, like, super anti-Elon, like, what have you done and provided to anyone that, like, you can sit here and criticize a revolutionary person in our time on a bunch of different levels? And those same people are the ones that now think that, like, he bought X to create, like, a Nazi platform and all this stuff. I'm like, you don't understand, like, what was at, you know, what was at risk during all that when he bought Twitter.
That was, like, one of the biggest things because those people thought, and they make the failure of, like, thinking, oh, yeah, we need to censor some people. We need to censor the crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, well, if you do that to them, when the power shifts, then you're going to be censored because now they have that power to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to be okay with some chaos for the freedom that we have in the U.S. Or else, like, we'll have a bunch of AI police robots and we can't say anything, and then we're China. And,
or anywhere in Europe right now.
Oh, yeah. It's a
You get arrested for memes.
That's one of the couple times where I've actually been, like, pissed listening to some, like, this chick got arrested for criticizing the immigrants, criticizing an immigrant who raped, like, a girl or something. And she gets arrested and she spends more jail time than the rapist. And I'm, just infuriating.
Yeah, man. It's like...
America has... This is what it's cool because, like, I heard that the founding fathers were all on shrooms and they made the Constitution.
That would be crazy.
Because, like, the stuff that they thought about, like, human nature that they were looking out for, like, we need to have the ability to say what we want, okay? Because we need to have all ideas out, and we also need to be armed. Everyone needs a gun and all this. It's, like, brilliant.
The government cannot take someone's gun.
Yeah. And that's, like, always been, like, a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Moving the goalpost on, like, what's a weapon.
Yeah, because it's,
RPG.
you know, there's somewhat of, like, the historical context of, okay, these made these rules when these things existed. You know, we're 250 years from that point, pretty much.
So, like, a lot's changed.
Well, next year be 250 years. 1776, technically 77. Yeah, right? 2026.
We need to do.
What's the math?
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, when's the 250th anniversary of this great country? Yeah, it has to be.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Next year. July 4th, 2026.
What if that's like it's written in the simulation?
That's when Q reveals himself. And
that's when the global reset takes place.
Geez.
Every few hundred years.
Crazy.
They tap into the pyramids. The sky turns black. How long have we been going? Oh, just about an hour. Nice.
Just about an hour, yeah.
I kind of wanted to bring up that adolescent show.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So for a lot of my, I guess, streamers out there, I'm sure if you have Netflix, you have seen this new show, raving show called Adolescence. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, first time I heard about it is when you sent that.
Yeah, so pretty much, spoiler alert, the series is based in, I want to say, somewhere in Europe. And they start off the scene, all these police kind of storming into this house and arresting this white, tiny, feeble, like 13-year-old boy. And they're charging him for murder. Murder of this 13-year-old girl. Wow. And so throughout the show, they're trying to like interrogate him, gather more information, go through their investigation, and they go to his school. And they start talking to some of the other younger boys at the school and the teachers, and they start using the words like incels and reference Andrew Tate a bunch and this toxic masculinity with, younger kids and misogyny.
Whoa. And
so at that point I was like, I didn't know that it was a true story. It was based on a true story. But once I kind of caught the vibe of like how this was being turned, I was like, all right, like I'm kind of out of this.
Yeah.
And then I went on X and I was like, people were talking about the show. So I started doing a little bit more research. Come to find out, the white kid that they arrested at the beginning was the murderer. And so the story is true. However, the truth of what happened in 2023, what's his name? Hassan Sintamu, 17-year-old, was actually the guy that murdered this girl. He stabbed her to death outside of a shopping center in South London in September 2023.
You said Hassan?
Hassan Sintamu.
Doesn't sound white to me.
He is not white. I'm going to try to find out his ethnicity.
So you're saying that the show changed the race of the character to white from, what is he, Indian?
No, I'm trying to find exactly what his...
Somalian?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, they pretty much created the same show as like a truth series covering this brutal murder that took place in London and replaced the skin color of the person to make it feel like, these are the types... We need to be afraid of this 13-year-old white boy because he's being indoctrinated by Andrew Tate and this toxic media. And so then...
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Hassan...
What I want to know is, like, did they just make up the Andrew Tate stuff and all the masculinity red pill stuff? That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe. What's his heritage on here?
And, like, if the roles were reversed, people would be in arms about the fact that they changed the race of someone who committed a murder. Like, what's the point of that? That really baffles me.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Like, you got to wonder, like, what's the motive of, like, the person who did that or made that decision? Are they wanting people to think... Just trying to play devil's advocate. Are they wanting people to think, like, oh, the race doesn't matter in this situation? It's just a story of like, a person that made this crime, and that it could be any race that could commit a crime, because that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But then you say it's a true story, but then you change the story, like you change literally the character completely.
Yeah.
And then you add in some stuff that's like, it just like makes you question the whole thing.
Did he
even kill someone?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, they're just lying. Like they're straight up lying and manipulating people to believe something that's not true, but it aligns with a lot of hot button issues that have already been discussed and are kind of in everyone's face. And so, you watch a show that's emotional and it's sad because you see the family and it's like, damn, like that kid, look at all the people that are, ruined by this.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's the white boy. It's like, that's not what's happening in reality. It's not a reflection of reality, but they want the story, the fake story, to become your reality.
Yeah. And how many like people that watch that have that impression and they digest that content.
Yeah.
And,
well, I told you at one of those like parliament meetings in London, this woman had asked, I don't know if she was a reporter or she was actually a part of the parliament, I guess, but she had asked like the prime minister if he was aware of the show, and so are we going to start like teaching this, making people watch this as education on like, how toxic this type of misogyny and things. And he's like, yeah, I've watched it with my kids. We're definitely going to do it.
Oh my God. Thank God I don't live in the freaking UK.
Yeah.
Jeez, they're cooked over there.
Dude, they're done.
That is so... They're super woke over there.
Yeah,
dude.
but that's like,
That's
dude, imagine
fucked
if Biden did win, that's how we would be. Or if Kamala won.
Yeah,
Like that's how
we'd be on the fast track towards
Kamala.
that. Yeah, like, dude, that's fucked up. You're changing its story to fit your narrative that the white people are evil.
Yeah, the white guilt, white shame. We'd be freaking paying reparations by now. You'd be getting your bill.
Wow, white guilt.
Yeah, that's not a...
That's the worst. Got a criminal approaching the door.
Yeah. Dropping something off. That's weird.
It's my my Uber Eats order.
Yeah.
20-piece
May get
wings.
some B-dubs tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Going to this bearded lady restaurant.
Bearded lady.
Yeah. I don't know what's the name of this.
Oh yeah, so tell me how Wicked was yesterday.
Yeah, Wicked. I watched it yesterday, first time. There's been a lot of things that have happened leading up to me watching Wicked. Ben showed me a clip of the two stars, Ariana Grande and the other chick who plays Elphaba. So
what's her name?
Elphaba and Galinda. Galinda's Ariana Grande. Elphaba is the Broadway actress, the green lady in the movie, the witch.
I don't really know the storyline.
Basically, it starts off and Elphaba is like born out of wedlock. So there's like a cheating scene in the beginning, and so they're having the baby, and the baby comes out green, and like the white dad's like, "What?" Like, "Oh, I'm pissed off," and all this stuff.
So the wife had cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck her.
Yeah, that first of all, it starts off like that, and then they go off to this school. Ariana Grande's character is like the rich, privileged one, and she's wanting to become a sorceress.
Okay.
And basically all these like animals are teaching the classes, and then there's this like scene where in the beginning, Elphaba, the Wicked Witch, she has a sister in a wheelchair, and one of the people's trying to take her sister away like to the dorm, and she's like, she doesn't need help, and then she like lifts her up in the air, and everyone's freaked out, like, what's going on? And then like the headmaster who has powers comes out, and she's like, that was me. I want to let you know that everything that happens in Oz is unexpected. And she was taking cover for Elphaba, so she didn't feel uncomfortable. But then she started training Elphaba to be a witch.
Who did?
the headmaster.
Oh, okay.
And then Ariana Grande's character is like wanting to do that,
Yeah.
but she's like just an airhead kind of character. So these goats and leopards and owls are teaching the classes. And when that happened, when she lifted up her sister and then like things broke, the like head crest of the school fell off, and it was a picture of all the animals. And so the animals are like the royalty or whatever, and the animals' rights are being taken away. So like the goat's teaching a class, he flips over the chalkboard and it says, "Animals shall never teach in here."
What?
Yeah, and then so that eventually they kick out the animal, and they're like, "We've replaced your teacher, the goat, who's Tyrion from Game of Thrones." The goat like gets taken off and put in a cage, and then the witch is having all these visions of it all.
And that's Elphaba?
Yeah, Elphaba. And then essentially she's getting like her whole life she's getting picked on because she's green. She looks different. Everyone hates her. And so then she actually has the powers. She gets a letter from Oz. She's like, "You're being invited to go meet the Wizard of Oz." And so she's super excited. She goes. Ariana Grande's character goes with her. And they get to the Emerald City. And they're like having a good time. They're singing. And then she goes to meet the wizard. And the wizard has like this huge like animatronic face type deal. Where it's like a big like mask face. And it comes out and like, "Who are you?" And it's like screaming at him. And it's super loud and intimidating. And then it's all a front. So the Wizard of Oz comes out. And it's just like a regular guy. And he's kind of explaining like how you start to realize like the people in power don't have any power. They're just kind of like tricking people that they have this like special ability. So then Elphaba reads this grimoire, which is like a magic spell. And all the guards for the Oz are monkeys, like chimpanzees. She reads this spell that puts wings on all the chimpanzees. And the chimp that's in the room is like... It's like wings come out and it's like it's screaming, and she's like, "Make it stop, reverse the spell." "You can't reverse the spell." And she's like, "I didn't want to do that." And so now the chimps can run and everything and fly. So they're like leveled up, and they're like, "Thank you for doing that." So it was all a ploy to help out Oz have better security.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, looks at the wizard. She's like, "Read the spell." And he couldn't do it. He has no power. And then she's like, she stole the book of all the spells and runs. And they're like, "Get her. She's evil." And they flip on her. And then so it kind of changes the story of like she's the wicked witch, but she's actually the hero in the movie. And then she like trusts her powers and jumps off and flies. That's when the Defying Gravity song. So all in all, like the movie was, it's not my favorite movie, but I do think it was a good message. Overall.
And it was a musical, right?
It was a musical, yeah.
Were you singing along?
I was. A couple songs. No, we watched it in Dallas in the AT&T Discovery Center area, which is like a big like AstroTurf lawn. And then on the side of the building, there's like this huge like squared screen that wraps around the corner of the building. And we're like, "Oh shit, this is going to be cool. The whole screen's going to be used." No, it's just like a little rectangle of the screen is like the actual movie, and then it's like a bunch of like cars. Like it looks like a drive-in type deal. It's like kind of like a fake looking thing.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying.
So, yeah, it was. Yeah. So it's part one. There's gonna be a part two. So.
And it was a long movie.
Yeah, and my lower back is broken. I'm sitting on the ground.
Yeah, sitting on the ground sucks. You should have done the crisscross applesauce.
Oh, I did. I was switching. I ended up laying down for a little bit, closing my eyes. But let's transition out of that. So, yeah. Did you hear about the SpaceX capsule that came back?
No, I know you were telling me about it a few days ago.
Yeah, it's super interesting, right? So these people were stuck on the space station there was 2 astronauts that were stuck. I think there was more, but the stories about these two people that were stuck, a man and a woman. And they've been up there for 286 days. They were in space.
Mm.
And they crashed down into the water. And the boats are pulling up. Looks like kind of like the SEAL team boats or whatever. They pull up on them. And apparently, I watched this video, like a bunch of dolphins just come out of nowhere.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of interesting.
It's AI.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. So they get out of the deal and they put them on a stretcher because they've lost all their bone density from being in space. They haven't had no like force to like create their bones.
Yeah.
So they were literally put right on a stretcher and taken to the hospital. They were gonna freaking die. I mean, it's insane. I don't know all the political ins and outs of it, but apparently it was like, why couldn't we bring them back earlier? It took Elon, the evil guy Elon, save people's lives. But I was wondering, do you think they had sex up there?
There's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Are they married?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
think so. I mean, you're up there.
Let's just say they're single.
Yeah, if they're single, 100%.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to die. No one's coming to get us.
We're in space.
286 days.
By yourselves.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do.
They said that the chick's hair turned gray.
Jeez.
All the stress.
I wonder if that like ages you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another part was that they were being checked for radiation, too.
Jeez.
So they were up there for too long. That's crazy. You're in space that long.
Yeah, what are you saying? What's passing by?
It'd be so cool to like talk to someone who's been in space for that long.
Yeah, but you just have to go up there yourself. That Red Bull guy that jumped from space?
Oh yeah.
Like I wonder what that would feel like. Just like free falling from outer space then into the Earth's atmosphere. Just like being able to see.
Dude's addicted to adrenaline.
Yeah, but I also wonder, like how black is that like sky up there? Like just the vastness.
Yeah, no light. Just deep space.
How more terrifying if you go the opposite direction and you're just like floating away from Earth forever.
Yeah. Or you're like doing the spacewalk and then like you try to click your thing and you miss and you fall off there.
Like, look out, meteor. Yeah. Debris.
Thruster love.
You're like, what? We're hanging on. No.
Yeah.
You just fade away into the darkness. That's like that Death, Love, Robots. Pretty sure they did an episode. Oh, yeah, they did an episode of that in Death, Love, Robots.
Was it good?
It was good. There may have been a Black Mirror about that, too.
There was. Yeah, I watched that one. That one was insane, dude.
Yeah.
That one's crazy. We should talk about that.
Are you talking about the one where his family gets... Or which one? I think it's called like USS Callister or something.
Okay, they've had a couple Black Mirror. The one that I'm thinking of is that the two guys... Yeah, it's two guys that are up in space. And basically they're stuck in space. And so every like day they basically just go into this like chip simulation.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy's chip breaks. And he's like, he goes off his shit. So basically the chip, like you'd go back into a different reality. And like this guy was living his life with his family on the farm. That was his life. And then his buddy in the spaceship's chip breaks. And he's like, all right, well, you can borrow my chip, a couple hours here and there. He's like trying to be nice to him. And this guy's like, hasn't shaved in forever. He's like going crazy because he's not able to go to his simulation. And then he starts to get in this simulation and it's all good at first. Like he's like, oh, thank you and everything. And then he's starting to ask for more time. And it starts to get weird because eventually he's living in his simulation with his family. And he's, you have like this avatar in your simulation that looks like you.
Yeah.
And so when his friend's going into his simulation, he looks like his friend. Like they look, and then the wife in the simulation is starting to be like, you're different and all this stuff. And then he like cheats on that guy's simulation wife. And then he fucking kills the guy. Yeah.
Jeez.
That was one of the darkest Black Mirror episodes ever.
I need to rewatch that one.
Yeah, that one's fucked.
Yeah, I think there was another one where it was like this guy that he was like running like a simulation thing and was kind of like abusing the people in it.
Oh yeah.
And then they trapped him and like pretty much like locked him in the simulation, and he was just like floating in outer space.
Oh god.
So it's like which one's gonna die first type of thing. Or maybe it was like they hooked him up to where he'd be getting like nutrients or something, and he'd always be just floating away.
Because he was like fucking with the people
I think he was like, yeah, he was like,
sexually.
yeah, maybe.
He was a
like a
creep.
weirdo, yeah. And then he's just floating away forever.
Oh,
Literally
Jesus.
forever. Yeah, torture. I mean, you can't even imagine being in a position like that.
Black Mirror is like.
They're coming out with a new season. I just saw the
Really?
titles for them the other day. Yeah. There's like 7 episodes.
Man, that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Do a little breakdown, maybe.
That would be good to do a breakdown. There's so many. I mean, every episode has been really interesting. It's like shit that you wouldn't ever think about.
Yeah.
Like the one that I like the most is when that guy, it's kind of like a nomad, and then he gets like an opportunity to like beta test that video game,
Yes.
like that immersive video game.
I remember that
And
one.
he's like in that haunted house, freaking out. He finally like gets out. He literally think he like gets out. And he feels like he's there for days and days and days.
Oh, jeez.
And lives this life and then comes back and like somehow dies. And then they show the other perspective of the game testers like plugging him in, and like as soon as they plug him in, dead. Like a second.
Ooh,
But in that guy's mind,
God.
it felt like he had been there. He'd lived like an entire life. He died. I'm like, all right, on to the next one. On to the next tester.
Oh, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's such a good show. Makes you think. Like, do you remember the one? There's so many, but one of the scenes, I think it was like the museum episode. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, on like the deserted like desert road or something.
Yeah, and one of the, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a device that this doctor ended up coming up with where he was able to like really help his patients by tapping into like their pain center.
Yeah.
And he could connect and like feel that, okay, yeah, you've got this pain here, give him this antibiotic, and or like he's broken his arm there, do this stuff. And it was really crazy because it showed that the doctor got addicted to feeling the pain.
Mm.
And he like got so addicted where he was actually like pushing other doctors away and was like, let me work on him. He broke his leg in 3 places. Let me feel that.
Oh, okay.
And then he
yeah.
like fucking goes psycho and goes and kills homeless guy, and like just like ripping his teeth out. He like put the helmet on him and he's like ripping his teeth out. Dude, you don't remember that? That one was fucking insane, dude.
No, I don't remember that one. I remember
hooked.
the episode, but I don't remember the details.
Yeah, he was he was hooked.
I thought it was something to do with like a Black History Museum.
I think it was called Black Museum.
Maybe. Yeah, I do remember that.
Good.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Being able to feel pain, other people's pain.
The Death Robots movie. What's that show called?
Death, Love, and Robots.
You showed me that one episode where it was like two brothers, like a brother or a sister and a brother or something, and they were like in this essentially like an apocalyptic mountain area.
Okay.
And everyone except for this guy had like an enhancement where they were able to like run faster, heal faster, and all that stuff. Do you remember that episode?
Not off the top of my head. Keep going though.
And they were like, okay, we're gonna go out and like kill this thing for food or something. And they go and they're like, come on, Johnny, come with us. And Johnny's like, fucked. He's like a human. He doesn't have the enhancements. So they're running all the way to get this, and things are coming down, attacking them. And I can't remember the whole point of the story, but they barely get back, and this guy almost dies or something.
Yeah.
And it had something to do with, I'm butchering this, but the sister was like faking that she almost, I don't know. It was weird.
I don't remember that one
I'm
at
gonna
all.
have to cut that out. My brain's fried.
Yeah, my brain is kind of fried too. But no, yeah. I think all those like hypothetical shows, it's like they're super creative. And it's like things you've never thought of before. It's like
Yeah.
one of them is like a mouse army. Like it's just like, or like a mouse
Oh.
fighter or a rat fighter.
That episode is so funny.
Yeah, like one of the Roomba, cleaning robots goes AWOL, starts trying to kill the lady.
Oh, Jesus.
And
Yeah, cool ideas.
yeah, some really cool. There's one where I think this guy starts like hallucinating. He takes like this drug. Him and his boss or like coworker like driving down this deserted Arizona road, and they run out of gas, and they're just like in the middle of fucking nowhere. And so
Damn.
they're starting to go kind of crazy a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's having like all these like visions from like the northern winds, like the magnetic field is like changing.
Yeah. Northern Lights.
And he's like floating and all this stuff, and like it's just like some of the wildest shit ever. It's like, how do people think about this?
They're on drugs.
Yeah.
You want to
Well,
do booking with the boys?
let me take a breather.
All right.
Let's take a breather.
Yeah, let's take a breather.